Hey everyone, it is Dawn from New Dawn Coaching and Training. Today we're going to work your abs with the Swiss ball. So hopefully you got one of these laying around. First of all, I want to talk about what size you should have. So I'm going to turn around. When you sit on this ball, your knees should be at a 90-degree angle. So if you look at me, my thighs are kind of parallel to the floor. If my hips were up a lot higher, my ball would be too big. And if my butt was dropping down below my knees, the ball's too small. A lot of times if you're just kind of almost there, just put a little more air in your ball. That will work fine. If you do have a new ball, fill it up, let it sit overnight. Let that rubber expand. You're going to find it's a little more loose in the morning. Put more air in it. Just enough so it's got a good firmness. You don't want it so hard where it's going to hurt when you lay on it. So that's a couple of things to keep in mind. I'm using a 55 centimeter ball. I'm about 5'4", so that's just kind of the right height for me. Usually around 5'7", 5'8" is where we say you need to go up to a 65 centimeter ball. But we're all built a little bit differently, so just have a seat on it. Just want to do a really quick warm up for your back. So I'm going to lay down on my stomach, hands and toes. Let's just start by picking up each leg. And when you do that, I'm also going to pick up the same side arm. So just lift that out. Lift that out. Don't forget to breathe. We're going to do one more each side. And one more. So another good way to warm up that back today, you're going to wrap yourself around your ball. You're going to come back up. So you're dropping both your chest and your thighs. Coming back up, just kind of wrapping around the ball. One more. And back up. Let's do one more thing. We're going to rotate out to the sides like that. So I'm going to bring my chest and my shoulder out. I'm keeping my feet down. Just lifting out, have your head travel with you. Let's just do one more. We're just keeping this warm up kind of short and sweet. Last one right here. And then I'm going to have you come on up. You're going to actually sit on that ball next. We're going to get ready to do some crunches. So have a seat. Walk it out. Just to the curve of your lower back. Keep those feet flat. Hands behind the head and neck. We're just going to start with a little crunch. We're going to keep those abdominals in. We're lifting the shoulder blades up off that ball. Notice my chin is staying up off my neck. Kind of the space of like a clementine between your chin and your neck. So we don't want to be doing that. Also notice my elbows are out wide. And I'm going to keep my tailbone lifted up off the ball. I want to make sure I'm not wrapping that lower back around the ball. Just a little bit of a bridge through those hips. And the breath is going to be happening the whole time. So just lifting up. We're taking it not too long of a set right now. Last 3, last 2, one more. Now we're going to pause just for a sec. We're going to go side to side. So we're going to lead with the armpit up and over to that opposite thigh. Notice we're twisting over a little bit. We're still keeping our chin up, our elbows out wide. Not holding our breath. Still have your tailbone up. One side and the other. So if you're feeling any tension or strain in the neck, think about putting your head back into your hands. Let the hands hold the weight of your head. Don't let the neck muscles try to do that. Now as we do this, we're not just bringing our elbow over, we're bringing our armpit and shoulder over towards that opposite thigh. Lifting up. 4, 3, last 2. One more time. So we're going to see some more crunches in a little bit. Let's get you down on the floor. We're going to hold your ball in your hands. Feet flat on the floor. So grab a hold of that ball. Let's just round back for a moment. Now my body's going to stay still and just the arms with the ball are going to move. So over the head, back in. Here's what we're thinking about. Stomach muscles staying in. Not training them to pooch out, training them to stay in. Upper body staying really still. So this might look easy to you, but I have a feeling once you get started, you're going to really feel those abs working. Lifting up. We're going to try 4 more reps here. If it's too much, just sit up a little taller. Final 2. And one more time. All right, so you're going to come up. We rest by just leaning forward for a few seconds here. Next exercise, come up, set it up the same way, still leaning back, but we're gonna go side to side with a little twist and a twist. And over and over. So on this one, we're keeping our butt still. We're not rocking those hips from side to side. We're trying to keep our shoulders as relaxed as possible. And we want to avoid moving our knees around here. Just have it go from that waistline. That's where you want all your movement to happen. So over and over. You'll start to feel those obliques working a little bit more. 2 more rounds. 1 more of each right here. And we're all set. So the break is feet wide, reaching forward. Make sure that whole back is coming forward. As always, we don't want to round just through the upper back. So we're going to go ahead, grab our ball. This time I'd like your feet to come off the ground. Now here's the movement we're going to go for. Torso and the upper body, out and in. It's torso and legs going out and in. So bring that out and back in. Now if this isn't too much of a challenge for you, take it out a little bit bigger. If it's just too much, keep it smaller. You could even keep your feet on the floor and just have your upper body go back and front. But boy, if you take both ends, you definitely start to feel it here. I hope the breath is flowing. So easy to hold the breath when we do our ab work. 2 more. 1 more time. Now the break is going to be ball up my shoes, take a quick turn to the side, and 1 to the other side. I want to do that little bit of a twisting because next up we're actually going to twist with the ball again, but your feet are off the floor. Feet off the floor, you can probably guess, makes it harder. So we're going to turn and turn. And we want to keep our feet still. Make sure you're not shifting 1 foot forward and then the other. Now if it gets to be too much in the back, put your feet down. But that nice twisting with your feet off the floor is a good challenge for you. So go over and over. Halfway there. I never know if I should tell people that or not. Sometimes they don't want to know. They just say, tell me when it's over. 3 more rounds. Here's 3 and 2. 1 more time. And that one's all set. So next up, I'm going to set my ball aside just briefly. I'm going to lay down on the floor. Grab my ball again. Let's balance the ball at the shins, hands to the floor. Good news is we're going to keep the upper body down for a little bit. But we are going to take that ball out and back in. So a few things to keep in mind here. First of all, keep your ball on your shins. Keep it balanced there. Next up, keep your lower back down right there. Don't let it arch off the floor. If that back starts to arch off the floor, that's when you increase your chances of getting hurt. The most effective way to do this is keep the top of that pelvis down on the floor. Finally, upper shoulders pulled back into the ground. We're not hunching them up off the ground. And out and in. Relax your jaw. If you're clenching your teeth, ease up on that. And you'll notice most of my movements, I tend to go a little bit slower. I know that the slower movements are more effective. You're going to feel them. Last 2. Let's do 1 more time. Out and in. All right. So grab your ball, set your feet down briefly. Want to give those hip flexors a little rest there. Pull your knees back in. Now separate your feet just enough so you can get the ball between your shoes. I'm going to place my hands behind my neck. There's my little cushion there for my neck curve. And we're going to do a little tailbone raise. So we're just doing a small lift up with our hips, just like you wanted to pull a little towel out from under your hips there. We're not rocking or using momentum. You want to keep your head down and your shoulders and your back down. And it's okay if this is a really small movement. It actually should be. You just want to barely get the hips to raise up off the floor. Just bringing them up. Still get our head down on the ground. See if you can get out 2 more here. And 1 more. So before you do your next batch, grab your ball, bring your knees in just briefly, and then place the ball between the shoes again. So here's what we're gonna do. Place those hands back there again into the curve of the neck, not just the head, the curve of the neck. We're gonna lower down and we're gonna come back up. And we're doing it again. We're gonna go down. So the same things kind of apply here with your lower back. We're keeping the lower back down. We're keeping our stomach muscles in. So again, if you let that lower back arch off the floor at the bottom of the movement right here, you're gonna get hurt. And if you've ever had a back that's been hurt, boy, it affects every part of your life. So let's try to not set ourselves up for injury. Do you still have your stomach muscles in? Last 3. Oh, fronts of those legs are talking now, aren't they? Last 2. Tell those hip flexors, do it. Let's do one more time here. So we're going to go down. And we're going to bring it back up. So go ahead, grab your ball. Set your feet down briefly. Take your ball back here. I'm going to get my legs out nice and long. Oh, that feels good in those hip flexors, doesn't it? All right, so what we're going to do is a little crunch up. Bring your ball up. Back down. So this is version 1. It's a little easier. After 2 more, I'll show you version 2 if you need it. Make sure your toes aren't turning out right here. They're pointing up to the ceiling. So the way to make it harder is to keep the ball back like that. And when you crunch, you're just going to bring the shoulder blades up off the mat. You're still going to keep your jaw relaxed. Bring that ball up with the shoulder blades. Lift. Now try your very best to keep your abs in whenever you crunch up. Tell your neck we have just a little bit more. I know those front muscles are giving out here a little bit, but I know we can do it. Count is 4, 3, last 2. One more time. So that part's set. I'm going to have you put your ball down. We're going to roll over, come back up. I'm going to have you sit on the ball to finish out today. Have a seat on that ball. We're going to do one more set of crunches. It's a longer set though. So remember, we're at the curve of our lower back. I'm going to go up and down just to get started here. Now you might find that these are a challenge enough for you, but if not, the way to make it a little harder is get those arms back like that. So we lengthen out that lever arm, and guess what? Work feels a lot harder because it actually is. So we take it up and down, and we go again, lift. Chin is still up. If at any time your neck gives out, place your hand, one hand back there to help support the weight of the head. A little bit more. We're going to change how we finish this one today. So let's check out 2 more. Now my last one, I'm going to stay up and hold it. And grab my fingers together. I'm going to pulse in the up position. So lift, lift. Ooh, don't hold your breath here. Keep those teeth from clenching. Keep rolling. We're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5. Here's 4, 3, 2, and all done. So why don't you go ahead and sit up. Bring yourself up right here. We're going to take just a little lean forward because I know your back is going to be happy about just doing nothing for a moment or 2. Go ahead and come on up. Go ahead and have a seat on your ball. We're going to get you stretched just a little bit more. Once you lean over to the side, notice we're dropping down the shoulder right here. Big stretch over, getting some stretch through your sides. We're going to take it the other way. So over you go. Drop your shoulder down. Nothing should hurt. This should feel really good. And then come back up. Next up, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. We're going to do some pelvic tilts. It's a great way to loosen up your lower back. So that tailbone aims forward, and then we aim it behind us. So we're just kind of tilting our pelvis forward and backwards. And we're going to do that one more time. This can also be something that feels good throughout the day if your back's getting a little tight. So go ahead and sit up nice and tall. I want you to reach those hands up over your head, the biggest reach you have. I want you to breathe in and then go ahead and blow it out. So you are all set. Great job. I'm so glad you joined me today. Remember, if you like this video, please click that like right below the video. Do subscribe to my channel. We've got more workouts coming up. And I wish you a great day. Thanks for joining.